Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have tons of new fall Dollar Tree DIYs for you. I'm going to show you how I took a woodland fall theme and I decorated my coffee bar area in my kitchen, also a tier tray that I think I'm going to display in my kitchen as well. So let's get started with my coffee bar first. Check out this cool sign I got at Salvation Army the other day. They had 50% off the entire store on Labor Day. And so I got this for like $2.50. Really nice big board sign. And I'm going to try to create a custom coffee bar sign with this. I love the fact that it's slatted wood. It did cause me a little bit more work for this project than I initially thought, but we're going to make it work. The first thing I need to do is paint over all of the writing. Anytime you have a dark sign like this and it has white writing on it, you really have to mask that, because if you're going to decoupage over this, you're going to be able to read that through. So I just went over first with a very thin coat of white paint on all of the boards, trying to make sure that I didn't get any in the cracks between the boards. Then I went over it with a heavier coat here to start to mask this. My plan for this sign is to display it on my top shelf of my coffee bar. My coffee bar in my house, if you don't know, I just took 2 floating shelves from Target and I put it on a wall near my kitchen over an armoire that I DIY'd that I got at Goodwill, and I love it. It's my favorite place in the kitchen. And so I love to decorate it, but you could always use a lot of these ideas in your kitchen or wherever you want to decorate. Now I got that all painted, so this is what I'm going to decoupage it with. Fall napkins from Dollar General. They were $2. They have a very similar print one at Dollar Tree with just fall leaves. This one also had like acorns on it. I think it's really pretty. And then I designed this printable. How cute is this? A bear drinking a cup of coffee. And I also did it in a fall theme. I just printed mine out on cardstock, and I will share the free printable with you in the description of today's video. Now for the napkin, I need it to be 1 layer. I thought I was going to need 2 since it's such a big sign, but the napkins were actually really big once you unfolded them. And so I just have 1 layer. There is a little bit of writing on the napkin, so I made sure to put that at the bottom where it won't be on the sign. And I'm going to cover the entire board sign with a very thin coat of Mod Podge. You definitely don't want to do thick coats, especially when you're decoupaging something as delicate as a napkin. And so I just went over it just very thin, but I wanted it even all over the sign. And then I'm going to lay this on, overlapping the sides with my napkin and making sure my hands were really dry. I'm just kind of smoothing that out. You can also use like a dry paper towel or like plastic wrap to kind of spread that out. You want to make sure that you get all of it glued down without any bubbles, but you also want to try to do it without tearing it if possible. It is very delicate. Then once I got that dry, I just went around all of the edges of my sign with a sanding sponge, and that gives you the perfect cut. You have to be pretty careful on this step too. Just take it easy, be very gentle with it. You don't want to rip any edges that you won't be able to repair. If you do rip it a little bit, you can always just Mod Podge it back down and it will be fine. And so I have it all on here. I'm going to go over the top of it with another very thin coat of Mod Podge. I often don't do the top part with Mod Podge, but I did do it on this sign just because I really wanted to be able to cut between all the board signs, and I wanted to make sure everything was good and attached and kind of dried on there. So I went over it with a very thin coat again. Some of it wanted to bubble up, but when I dried it, it did lay back down. And then this was kind of the tricky part of my DIY, was using my razor blade to cut between the board signs, because it's really hard to get the paper out in between. As you can see, the slatted board sign, the boards are really close together. So I think it was very important, especially on the decoupage step, to do that with this board sign. But if you had just a square sign that isn't a board sign like this, you wouldn't have to do this step, and that would be a lot easier. I found that if I cut it with my razor blade and then tried to glue it down into the crack with just my fingernail, like sliding that across. It did help. And also I use like that Cricut little weeder too, helped a little bit, but you have to be careful with that because again, that thin napkin can definitely tear. So I cut between all the board signs and then I'm going to attach my bear. I printed this out. I think I printed it out at 97%. I will share the link to this. I had to print it out 97% because my printer doesn't do like edge to edge. But again, I just printed it out on cardstock, which is going to make it so much easier to decoupage on here, and it's going to not be see-through, so you won't be able to see the leaf pattern through it. And so I just cut it out with a pair of scissors. And I love him. He's so cute. He's looking straight at you, drinking a cup of coffee with some fall leaves. So I think he's going to be really fun on the top of my coffee bar for the fall. I found the cutest things at Dollar Tree that inspired me to do a woodland fall theme for my coffee bar, and I can't wait to show you all of those. Now, I decided to do the bear on different boards, cutting each piece. So I glued it on my first board, and then I cut it out with my razor blade. Now, I did this because I had cut all of the napkins, for the individual boards before. I thought it would look really cool to do that with the bear too. Kind of regret doing it because it was harder than I thought. Maybe if I would have cut the slices of the bear with my paper cutter, maybe I could have got some straighter lines. It might have been easier to cut. But I had a little tough time like getting the cuts perfect on this and making sure that I don't have like any paper trapped in between the boards. But I had already started it, so I'm going to continue that way. I just added Mod Podge, laid on my bear, and then cut here in between the boards with my razor blade, making sure everything was glued down. And I think he's so cute. He would look really cute on any kind of background if you wanted to DIY with him for your kitchen for fall. I wanted to do lots of different animals like bears, foxes, squirrels, that kind of thing for my coffee bar. And I also have a fall tier tray today. Haven't done a tier tray in a while. And so I definitely wanted to bring you a new fall tier tray as well. And we're going to do the same thing for it too, the same theme, because I'm going to display it in my kitchen. So I went all the way up. Every single board has a piece of the bear now. But again, I did have to kind of clean up some of the paper. Some of it didn't cut perfectly, like the area like right here underneath the bear's head. And so I do end up with like a little bit of area there that doesn't have any of the bear. So I'm going to have to touch that up a little bit because it was a little bit more distressed than I wanted. But I tried to trim the paper up the best that I could and make sure everything was glued down. So since it was brown, I just went in there with a little brown paint and tried to disguise this the best that I can right here on the different boards. So that's one reason why I regretted doing it. I could have just left it all one piece. It would have been easier, but it didn't turn out pretty cute in the end. Now that I have it all cut and repaired, I'm going to seal the bear with some more Mod Podge here on top, trying to dry that. Once it dries, I was able to get rid of any of the bubbling in there and make sure that it lays flat. This is how it turned out, and this is how it looks on the top shelf of my coffee bar. I think he's so precious. What do you guys think about my little bear drinking coffee? Very fun. And I decided at first to lean it against the wall like that. I do end up hanging it. You will see here in a minute. But for right now, I started out with just a leaner sign here on the top. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video, be sure to hit that like button. And don't forget to hype my video. If you could do that for me, I would really appreciate it. Okay, the next item for the coffee bar is just this little pumpkin in green that I got at Target Dollar Spot. It's nice and small, so I think it's going to work well in front of that sign. It's not going to block it, and it's going to go with my like green and orange color scheme that I'm doing on this coffee bar. So I just put it in front of my little bear sign. I also wanted something else small, and so I picked up one of these little fox ceramic figurines from the Dollar Tree. Isn't he so cute? He has a little mushroom. And so I displayed him with the bear sign as well. He's perfect. He doesn't need anything. All I have to do is display it here on my coffee bar shelf. And this is how it looks so far, about half of it. filled up so far. And then I wanted to do a sign for at the other side. I picked up an 8x10 wood frame from the Dollar Tree and I designed another printable. This one says nuts about coffee and it has squirrels drinking coffee and gathering some acorns. I thought it was really fun, and I will share a link to that free printable as well down in the description of today's video. Now, this sign is going to be so much easier because I'm using a Dollar Tree sign. I printed the image out on cardstock on 8x10 size, and that's what size you'll be able to download. And I picked up an 8x10 frame, so standard size. I don't have to do anything crazy. I really like to DIY my canvases by actually putting the artwork on top of the glass. It's a perfect smooth surface, and it cuts down the extra step that I would need to do to make a background for this sign. I want it to look like a piece of art, and the size was perfect. The 8x10 cut out perfect, and so I just cut that down, and now I can attach that to the glass. Then I can put the glass back in the frame. It's such an easy way to do a seasonal sign. I'm just going to take some Mod Podge here on the glass, and I am just going to spread that out evenly on the whole thing. Definitely the easiest way that I make a sign on my channel for sure. I've made so many signs like this, and the artwork that you get a canvas look looks so much better than the glass on top of the image. That's why I do it this way. So I just laid my cardstock piece on there, and that's about coffee. I love this image, so fun. And then I am going to seal it on the top. You don't really have to wait for it to dry when you use cardstock, which is one reason why I use that. And I just went over it with a couple of coats, and I'm just going side to side so I still get the brush strokes in there. And that's what gives you that canvas art look when you go to frame it. So let's go ahead and put this all back together. I thought about staining this wood frame, but I realized it's really sealed, so I think I'll just leave it the natural wood it is. I'm just going to go ahead and pop the glass back in there like that, and then add the back. It does have a hanger on it, and I do need that to hang it on my wall, so I just put this back together, and I told you this one was going to be easy. Our little nuts about coffee artwork. I love those little squirrels. We have the tamest squirrels on Memorial Island near me, where they will come up on your shoe and beg you for some peanuts. And they are not scared of people at all. I think they're so adorable. And holding a cup of coffee is perfect for my coffee bar. I hung it on the wall, which is kind of high compared to the bear. So that's one reason why I'm going to move the bear here in a minute. Now, this is one of the finds that I found at Dollar Tree that I was so excited about. Near the kitchen aisle of my largest Dollar Tree, they had this Woodland Fall animal section. Coffee cups, plates, all kinds of fun things. And so I picked up 3 of the plates with 3 different animals. We're going to use 2 of them on the coffee bar because I didn't want the whole thing just to be plates. And then I got these great little plate holders on Amazon. I did add these to my Amazon shopping list, linked in the description of the video if you need some of these. I thought they were perfect for these. And this is what it looks like. Next to the little squirrel sign, we have a little hedgehog plate display, and I love the green on it. I think it's really pretty and goes really great with the DIYs we've made so far. The next item I found at Dollar General. It's a large size pumpkin. Looks like wood. It was $3 at Dollar General. I think it was supposed to be on sale, but their sales confuse me there. But it looks like it's wood, and it has felt on the top of it and orange. I think the colors are perfect. It doesn't need anything. It's ready to go. And I love the larger size of this, so I'm going to put this on the top shelf there next to our little hedgehog plate to finish off that shelf. So this is what it looks like so far. I think it's looking really cute. For the next DIY, this is also from the Dollar Tree. These are the placemats. I'm going to make a little pennant banner with this. I thought that'd be really cute. They have 2 different kinds of placemats in this line. I was so excited to find this at my Dollar Tree the other day. I was kind of surprised they got it in kind of late, a lot later than the other fall thing. So if your store doesn't have it yet, you might keep checking because, again, first time I've seen this stuff. I'm just going to cut the front off of the placemat, so I'll have this great fabric with different fall animals on here that I can use to make a little pennant banner. I'm just going to do like little triangles, And so I'm going to cut down like a stencil just with some cardboard that I had in my recycling here. I just use a straight edge to, trace this out. And then I can cut that down to size and make a stencil so I can cut down some perfect triangles here for the pennant banner. I want to try to make sure that I include like a different animal in each one. Since the print is kind of all scattered out, I definitely wanted the animals to be the star of the show. So I'm going to lay it on top of the fox and just use a pencil to sketch this out. Something really easy, and I won't have to worry about cutting marker off or anything like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing here with a little hedgehog. Over here we have a raccoon. I like to work odd numbers with my pennant banner, and so I want to do a total of 5 of them. There was only 4 animals though, so I'm going to have to do one animal twice. I will just do the hedgehogs twice. So I drew those all on there, and now I can cut these out. What I did was I cut out the triangle, but I'm also going to leave a little flap on here. So I'm going to cut it the opposite way like this, so I can hide it behind that when I fold that over my twine to make a really easy no-sew banner. And so I just went ahead and cut all of my pieces out this way. It was really easy. I love this fabric. I picked up a bunch of these placemats. I didn't have enough for a full set for my table, so hopefully I need to go back to another Dollar Tree. I might go to the next town over. They have a large Dollar Tree there too, and see if they have more, because I would really like these to, I would like 2 more so I can have a set of 4 for my kitchen table. But they work great for other projects like this. And so I am just cutting these all out. I'm gonna have to do like the hedgehogs like on different sides since I am repeating that animal. But I'm glad that I kind of targeted the animals like this because I think it made the pennant banner so much cuter. And even though I didn't draw that little flap, I remembered to cut it on all of mine so that I can attach that really easily to my twine. So I just flipped them over in the layout that I want. I found the center of my twine. I had measured that. That's how big one of my shelves are. And I'm going to put this on that top shelf that we just decorated. I just used a bead of hot glue to glue the twine on, and then another bead of hot glue, and I can like layer this little flap over the top of it. It's going to give me a nice clean edge and no sewing involved. So I love that. My mother was a seamstress, which is a funny story because I cannot stand to sew. I do have a sewing machine, but I only use it when I absolutely have to, which I do. My son is in college. He's still having his mom make his Halloween costumes. So I'm going to have to break that out soon. He's got some crazy ideas for a costume. So I am going to hot glue these out. I'm not really measuring them because I'm doing them so close together. And I just skip a little area of the twine, add the next pennant banner, and I tried to keep everything centered, by starting in the middle. And I have 2 more to attach here. I usually just attach my pennant banner to my coffee bar shelf by hot gluing each one of the twine pieces on each side of the shelf. Just the easiest way without having to put nails or screws into my wooden shelves. I want to keep them as nice as possible. So here it is, our little pennant banner. So fun. You could also do this on a tier tray as well. But this is how it turned out. I have it hanging on my shelf with all of these cute little woodland fall animals. And I love like the neutral colors. I think it goes really well. I tried to do a lot of green and orange on this coffee bar today. And I think it looks really good finishing off this shelf. But then I thought that my bear sign was a little bit too low, so I did move it up to the wall, as you can see there, and hung it on the wall so it's a little bit more balanced with the squirrel sign. But that opened up a little bit of room. So I picked up one of the fall fairy garden pumpkins with a little raccoon on the front, and it's orange, and I thought that would look really cute up on the top shelf as well. So I added that. Look how cute he is. He's holding a pumpkin. My stores just got these in as well. I hadn't seen the fall fairy garden stuff at all, but I love it. So that is the top shelf of the coffee bar. Now moving down to the bottom shelf, here is another one of the plates I found from the Dollar Tree. This one is a raccoon. So cute. I'm going to also use one of those little plastic acrylic plate holders that I found on Amazon. I found them to be a little bit easier to work with than the ones from the Dollar Tree, but you could use the ones from the Dollar Tree too, or whatever kind of plate holders you have. You could even hang them on the wall with like a plate hanger. They're so cute. Look how cute he is with his little mask. He's like a little bandit. So I put him here on the bottom shelf to start this off. And I think he's really sweet. I'm going to put him over here on the left side of the shelf. And we can start decorating this shelf as well. For the next item for this shelf, I'm going to add a little squirrel that I got at the Dollar Tree. Look how cute he is. He's holding a little acorn, and I think he will look really cute here next to the raccoon on this shelf. I don't really have to do anything to him. He is perfect and ready to go. I love those little animals from the fall section at the Dollar Tree. The next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to make like a fall leaf display, like with a vase. So I have one of these little milk jugs from the Dollar Tree that I had previously DIY'd, I think for Valentine's Day. I just cut the ribbon off of it, and I'm gonna leave it white and just add a window cling from the fall section at Dollar Tree. I have one of some little mushrooms left over, so I'm going to add that to the milk jug just to customize that with a thin coat of Mod Podge, and then I lay the window cling on top. So easy. I seal it with another coat of Mod Podge on top, and now I have a really cute little vase, and like the little milk jug theme kind of like goes with the coffee bar theme as well. And then I'm going to add this fall leaf floral that has like a little acorn on it that I got at the Dollar Tree. I think it's so cute. I decided it was too tall, and so I cut mine down into individual pieces. And for some reason, I can't find my wire cutter, but if you get the little pet nail clippers like that from the Dollar Tree, they work great for these wired things as well. But I ended up cutting it a little bit shorter than I thought. And so I'm going to fill this up with just some Dollar Tree sand. So I have something I can add these to, and I can kind of boost it up a little bit taller, because I didn't mean to make it quite that short, but I love the colors of these, and I love that acorn in there. So cute. I think it needs to be a little bit higher, so I added some more sand, and that is one of the craft funnels from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. It works great when you need to add sand to a vase with like a skinnier like lid like that. And I'm just going to add all of the pieces in here, kind of arrange it till I'm happy with it. And so easy. It's got the little mushroom on the front. Very simple DIY for my coffee bar. And look how shiny that little acorn is. I think it's so cute. So I'm going to put this right here in the center of this tray. I kind of had a little area on my wall, my like removable wallpaper back there that had a little tear in it. So I definitely wanted to make sure they were tall enough to cover that. But this is how it turned out. I think the little mushrooms on there are such a fun touch. And this shelf is really coming along nicely. The next item I wanted to add was one of these little felted mushrooms I got at Dollar Tree. It has light green color, so it's perfect. It was a fall section, so I'm assuming $1.50 now. And I did want to paint it to make it look like wood because I thought that looked really good on the one that I got from Dollar General. So I went over it first, the stem of the mushroom and the underside of it where it doesn't have the felt on there, with this tan color, which is Beachcomber's Beige by Apple Barrel. And once I get it that color, it's very similar to the wood tone on the other mushroom. I'm going to distress it with some Antique Wax by Waverly. I'm using a little chippy brush that I got at Amazon. It went on a little thick at first, but I'm just going to use a baby wipe to kind of blend that, thin that out, and kind of spread that around. And I'm going to go over it and distress it until I'm happy with it. I have a little bit less on there now, and that seemed to work a little bit better. And then I kind of switched to a paper towel because I don't want to remove too much of it, but I want that great wood grain because it already had that great texture on there. But now that it's painted to look like wood, I think it's really special. The green felt on the top of the mushroom is really pretty. It goes really well with that green, those green plates with the fall animals. And I do have a third plate that I'm going to use on the tier tray up next. So this is how it turned out. One of the Dollar Tree little felted mushrooms. They have so many mushroom items at the Dollar Tree this fall. I love that theme for fall. It goes great with the woodland animals. This is the other placemat they have from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to customize one of their bamboo cutting boards with it. They have made these larger if you've bought these in the past. As you can see, it is a nice size now. This one says, "Life is better with friends." A lot of this is just that plain ivory, so I'm really going to concentrate on just the image. And I thought that would be fun to add that to the front of the cutting board since this is in my kitchen. So I just cut out the front of the placemat, and I'm going to try to line this up a little bit here. It looks like I will have to cut off like maybe a couple tails to get this to work. And I just laid the cutting board on top of it and traced that out with a pencil so I could cut that down to size. And I just cut it out and kind of round the corners. I do want a little bit of the wood to show through, but I will just have to cut it down a little bit more once I add it to my cutting board. So it's also a little off centered with how I cut it. So that worked out well. I was able to even it out a little bit because the tails were not quite even. As you can see, the squirrel had a larger tail kind of going off to the left, but that's okay because I wanted some of the bamboo to show anyway. So I am just going to cut two edges of it a little bit shorter so I have a little border around it so you can still see that bamboo cutting board kind of peeking out from the back. And then I'm just going to use this as like a leaner sign, leaning against my wall. And whenever I can do like a kitchen item on a coffee bar, I love that. I think that looks really good. So I just kind of trimmed this up till I was happy with it. I want just that thin border. And again, this is not a cutting board that I'm going to use. It's just going to be for decor. I just added Mod Podge, and since I was doing fabric, I did a really thick coat, kind of saturated the entire fabric with this to make sure that this stays put, and laid the fabric on there and went over and just made sure that everything was down, kind of soaking the fabric with the Mod Podge and using a paper towel to make sure that it's flat, no air bubbles in there. And I think it turned out really cute. Life is better with friends, little fall woodland animals, a fun way to use that placemat from the Dollar Tree. And I just leaned it here on the wall next to like the fall leaves there in the vase. Lots of cute little animals on there, and I love the saying. A really quick, easy way to make a sign too for your kitchen or your coffee bar. So this is what it looks like so far. I do have room for one more thing, I think, and I picked up one of the orange pumpkin coffee mugs from the Dollar Tree. I thought that would be perfect. I don't need this for my coffee cup bar because I found those great woodland animals. So I'm just going to use it for decor. I have found that the foam cones from the Dollar Tree work great if you want to fill up a coffee cup to use it for a decor project. So I just cut it in half and pop that in there. It fills up almost the entire cup. And then I'm just going to take some reindeer moss to cover up my foam. And I found some great greenery at the Dollar Tree that I thought looked kind of like scrubland. And I'm going to use that to make kind of a forest floor look here in the orange pumpkin mug. I found some great mushrooms at Dollar General, a little mushroom pick. And I thought that that would look really cute growing out of my little pumpkin mug as well. So I just cut these little individual pieces of greenery down, putting that in my foam. Look how cute these were from Dollar General. Only $1. I really love the fact that Dollar General still has items for $8. Sometimes they're not cheaper. I recently got a skull candy dish that was cheaper at Dollar Tree. So you do have to keep your eye on them, but on a lot of items, they are cheaper. And so I'm just going to add the mushrooms, and I'm going to add a little bit more greenery here. I want it to look really full with the greenery, but kind of have those red and white mushrooms be the star of the show. I don't want it to be too tall, so I do make some of the pieces maybe a little bit deeper down here into the foam so you can really see those mushrooms. And this DIY was so easy, and it gives me a fun little plant on my coffee bar as well. Let me show you how this turned out. Isn't that so cute with the little mushrooms in there? I displayed this here next to my cutting board, DIY, and it really finished off the bottom shelf of my coffee bar. Isn't that mug adorable? I absolutely love it. I got it to actually drink with, But then I found the other mug, so I'm going to use that for decor. And this shelf is all filled in. I do want to do like a wood bead garland for this. And I found this great wood bead garland at Dollar Tree the other day. It has mushrooms on it. I didn't really like the design though, with the mushrooms being sideways like that. So I'm going to DIY my own. So I'm going to go ahead and use everything from it. I just cut it down to the proper length for my shelf. And I just went ahead and removed the excess twine, untied it, and I'm going to remove everything from this and do my own little wood bead garland using some of these wooden ornaments from the Dollar Tree. I picked up a 3-pack so I can do 3 different animals. And I'm just going to use window clings from the Dollar Tree to make some really cute little woodland fall animals that I can hang from the wood bead garland. Now, I don't have a lot of room on the wood slices, but I definitely have enough room for their heads. So that's all I'm going to attach. I just picked out this cute little fox here. He should be pretty easy to cut out just his head. Pretty easy shape. I just use my scissors to cut around him. And usually the window clings from the Dollar Tree have like a clear background. This one actually had a bright yellow for some reason. And so I do have to cut the yellow part off too, because that's not going to look very good. So I just went all the way around the little fox face and head here and cut all the excess material off. And then we can add it to a little wood slice there to make a really cute ornament for the wood bead garland. The next animal I'm going to do is this squirrel. They had a couple different squirrels on here. This one was a little bit less cartoon looking than the other one. Again, I'm just going to do its head. It had some like little furry ears, but I thought that would be too hard to cut out. So I'm just going to cut out like the pointy ears here because this one had that yellow background as well. So I had to cut around that. They have a couple different window clings from the Dollar Tree with the fall animals. So you can kind of experiment with this and use one that you like. I think that looks really cute. And for the third animal, let's do this cute little hedgehog over here. I will be able to put like some of his spines in here, so I kind of see what's going to fit, and then just kind of cut around that, again cutting off all of the excess yellow material. If it were clear, I probably wouldn't have to cut these out as much, but it still might make it look better not to have that. I'm going to use Mod Podge to attach those to the wood slices, and I use that matte finish Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree, so it will really help take all the shininess away from this that the window clings have, because I don't want them to be super shiny. So I just went over the wood slice with some Mod Podge. I did find that the wood slice really kind of soaked that up, so I had to use a little bit more of the Mod Podge than I thought I would. So I put another coat on there, thicker this time, and started adding my little fall critters here, the squirrel, the fox, and the hedgehog on these. Just making sure they have holes drilled in them, so I'm just making sure that was up. And I just went ahead and Mod Podge these all on here. I'm also going to Mod Podge over the top of them, again, to take away that glossy sheen. And a couple coats of the matte finish Mod Podge really helps. If you do it like I was doing, they kind of slide around a little bit because I didn't really wait for it to dry too much. But I'm just going to go ahead and get these going so that we can string our wood bead garland and design this the way that I want it. I'm going to remove all of the wood beads from that garland and reuse them because I also want to use those mushrooms too. I think those are really cute, and I think we'll be able to use those as ornaments on this wood bead garland as well. So a couple of coats, as you can see, the shininess definitely goes away with that matte finish Mod Podge, and these will be ready to add to the wood bead garland. Mine were a little bit furry, so I did sand them down a little bit to clean them up. And then I just removed all of the wood beads from the garland so I can kind of do my own thing. If you put a little hot glue on the end of your twine, it's going to make your life so much easier to string those wood beads. And then the little wood slices actually come with twine that work perfectly. It's nice and thin. It's a little bit thinner than the one that I normally use from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to go ahead and string these all on so I can tie these on as I go. This twine is the right size for my shelf, and I just tied a couple knots here on the end just so my wood beads would not fall off. And I am going to start stringing this. I thought we could do like 5 of the natural wood, and then we could do like 1 of the orange and kind of repeat that pattern. So I'm going to do another 5 of the natural, but this time instead of the orange bead, I'm going to do one of these wood slice ornaments. I just tied it 2 times here, and then I'm going to tie that actually here in between the wood beads by just knotting that here on there and cutting off the excess twine. And they fit really well. The wood beads are not too large, and so they didn't really get in the way here. I can put them pretty tightly with the wood beads. And so I strung 5 more of the natural beads, 1 of the orange, another 5 of the natural, and then we can do another 1 of the ornaments. Again, I always like to use odd numbers like 3 or 5 or something like that when I'm making like a pennant banner or something like that. I think it just looks better. And that is about halfway, so I think this is going to work out perfectly. I do want to use those mushrooms you'll see here at the end. And I'm just going to keep repeating that pattern, 5, 1, 5, and then the other ornament, tying this on. And this was such an easy way to make the little wood bead garland with the Woodland Fall animals without having to use a printer or anything like that. Window clings from the Dollar Tree can be really fun to craft with. So I have these all strung on here. I went ahead and tied it off, and then I realized, oh, I haven't added my mushrooms yet. So I'm going to go ahead and untie that because I did want to use the mushrooms, but instead of sideways like they came, I want them to hang upright. I think that will look way better, and you can really do that with just twine. So I'm going to go in here with a piece of twine, string that in from the top, and then I'm just going to knot that here on the bottom so it will hang down, and I can use that 1 piece of twine to tie that off. So here, instead of one of the wood slices, I'm going to tie on the cute little mushroom, and I just double knot that and cut off the excess here. I have a room for maybe just a few wood beads on the side of it. I do want it to be as full as possible. I think 2 will work. That looks cute, so I'm going to do the same thing here with the other side. I thought about alternating like wood slice, mushroom, but the sides, I don't have a lot of room. And so I think the tiny mushrooms will fit better on the sides and kind of be like little caps here on the side. So I tied that one on to the other side and added 2 beads to this one as well. I didn't really like the fact that the orange was a lot darker color than the wood beads. And so I'm going to go over mine here with a little orange paint. This is pumpkin. And I just went over it with a thin coat. And that way my polka dots are like a lighter color of orange, which I'm fine with. But it toned down the orange and made it match the wood beads way better. So I went ahead and attached it here to my bottom shelf. A little bit of hot glue on each side. And this is how my little wood slice wood bead garland turned out. I think it's really cute. What do you guys think? I like the redesign that I made with it. And I put this here on the bottom shelf that we decorated. And I think it looks really cute together. What do you guys think about this? The next item, check out the coffee mugs from the Dollar Tree. So cute. The raccoon, the squirrel, the hedgehog. I think that's all the animals. That's all I could find. These are going to be great for fall. I can hang them on my coffee cup bar, which is underneath that bottom shelf. So I can use these for fall, so seasonal and fun. I also have a lot of coffee cups in my kitchen too. I have a whole wall of them because I have quite the Ray Dunn collection of mugs, but I think these will be fun for some pumpkin spice lattes this fall. Aren't they cute? I love them. I have 3 hooks there on my little bar, and they hang really nicely here underneath the wood bead garland and more fun fall critters. These were the last items for the fall critter coffee bar, and I'm going to show you how it all turned out and looks together. This is how that bottom shelf turned out with the little coffee mugs. And don't forget, we also have a fall tier tray DIY in this video as well. But I love all of the custom fall signs combined together with those cute little plates from the Dollar Tree and that great fabric as well. So many fun finds, and I really love the coffee mugs as well. This is how it all looks above my coffee maker. I think it turned out really fun. This was such a fun theme to do for fall, and this is how it all looks together. Now for the next new set of fall DIYs, I wanted to decorate my tier tray. This is my 2-tier tray that I got on Amazon. It is rectangular shaped, so I really love that. It's really fun to decorate. I wanted to do a fall woodland theme on this one as well, and I found some great, really shiny items at the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to kind of have a shiny theme, but also a fall critter theme on this one. So this vase is going to work perfectly because it's shiny glass. It's got a mushroom on it, orange for fall. I'm just going to fill it up with some sand from the Dollar Tree. And I actually found some shiny like feathers here from the Dollar Tree. They're grass with feathers that I think will look really cute in this vase. It's going to make my top tier really tall, which I don't mind, but I think the turkey feathers go great with like the fantastical fall theme that I've done so much in my house. I love that for fall. I picked up 3 of these from the Dollar Tree, all a little bit different colors, as you can see. I thought the variety of these would look really good. I just went ahead and removed the tags. I'm going to leave them all together, but I'm going to kind of spread them out so I can mix all the different colors of grasses and feathers together in this. And I think 3 is the perfect size to fill up this fall vase. So this is going to be the first item for my tier tray. Really easy, and I needed something really tall because I'm going to be adding one of those great little fall plates there to the top of my tier tray, and I need something that you can see behind it. So this is definitely going to be tall. I'm going to put it right here on the back of my top tier, and I did want to kind of arrange it a little bit, kind of mix up the grass, make it look a little bit more random here, and the feathers until I was happy with it. Let me zoom out to show you the whole thing. Definitely a large project for the top of my tier tray, but I think it's really cute and it's going to go well with the theme. The other item I'm going to put in the back are some of these little straw bales from the Dollar Tree. You might want to cut these open over a trash can because they are very messy when you first take them out of the package, as you can see. I'm just going to stack 2 together to have something tall in the back, but something, that you're not really going to be able to see much of it, but you'll be able to see the side of it. So I'm going to stack them like little hay bales here in the back just to have something large back here with a fall theme. I think that's going to work well like that. And then here is the third plate that I got at the Dollar Tree. This one is the fox. So cute. I'm going to use another one of those plate holders from Amazon. All I have to do is remove the tag on this, and this is going to be ready to go. The tags were not too bad on these plates or cups. Sometimes the Dollar Tree tags can really fight you. Heat always seems to be my secret weapon on those. And this is going to be so cute on the top tier. Again, it's kind of large, which is why I picked the large items to go behind it. I'm just going to put this right here in front of the pole of my tier tray and put my little fox here right in front. He's really shiny. Let me turn off my flash there so that you can get a better look of him. I think he's really cute. The next items I'm going to add are a couple of these little gourds that I got at Target Dollar Spot. The only thing is I wanted to make them shiny. Everything that I got at the Dollar Tree for this project are shiny. So I'm going to use some Mod Podge gloss to make them shiny. They had a very matte finish, and they're just 2 gourds. I just sprayed them with 1 coat of that gloss Mod Podge, and they really made them shine. The items that I'm going to be using for the bottom tier are the ceramic items from the Dollar Tree, and they're super shiny like this. So I thought this would make it coordinate well. And I don't have a lot of room, which is why I'm using some smaller items. I'm going to lay one down and stand one up and just kind of decorate the sides of that great little fall plate. And this is how my top tier looks so far. So cute. But let's start decorating down here at the bottom. I have a lot more room down here on the bottom of my tier tray. The first item I'm going to use is this little ceramic pumpkin dish that I got at Dollar Tree. I wanted a really easy tier tray, and so most of these items are ready to go, which are my favorite. The green color is perfect for my green and orange that I'm going with. And I'm going to use a plate stand for this as well. It'll make it stand up nicely. It'll make it really tall here in the back. It matches the color of the fox plate really well with that color of minty green color. So I think that's going to fit perfectly. The next item I found from Dollar Tree is this mushroom. Isn't it so cute? It's a ceramic top with like a wood mushroom stem. It did have a sticky tag on there. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. I want to leave the natural wood on the mushroom, and I think that looks really pretty. The color is very neutral with that like almost like a pink tone, but I love the ceramic gloss on there. And I was going for a shiny look on these, and so I'm going to leave it that color. And it's nice and tall, so I can add that to the back as well, and you should be able to see it. The next item I found was from the Dollar Tree, glossy ceramic gourd. This one is like a white with a green leaf, really pretty, and of course, ready to go. I'm going to display it here next to that pumpkin. I think they look really nice together. The next item is a fox from the Dollar Tree. This is the fox that has the little apple from the Dollar Tree. The only thing is this is the only piece from my bottom of the tier tray that doesn't have the gloss. So we're going to make it glossy as well by using some of that glossy Mod Podge. You can also use like any kind of gloss sealers if you ever want to give that glazed look to a ceramic item from the Dollar Tree. He's really cute, and I think he looks even better when I made him shiny. So I just sprayed him with one coat. Now he's shiny just like the rest of them. And I'm going to place him here in the middle of my tray. The next item for this bottom tier tray is this glossy little orange. Look how pretty this is. I love it. Doesn't need anything. The colors are perfect and it's nice and small. So I'm going to put it right here in the front corner of my tier tray. And you can see how I was talking about all of the glossy items. The next glossy item that I found from the Dollar Tree is one of these owls. They have these in a couple different colors, but it goes great with my fall woodland critter theme that I wanted to go for this tier tray. And it's nice and small, so I'm going to put it in front as well. So many fun ceramic items down here, really filling that up. To finish it off, I'm going to use this little wooden welcome sign. That is a pumpkin from the Dollar Tree. It's not glossy, but since it's wood, I'm going to let it go. It did have a super sticky tag on the back of it. So that was pretty much the DIY on this one. Was just getting that sticky tag off of the back of it. I think this is going to work well for the front of the bottom of the tier tray. And it can kind of hide the pole in the middle as well. So it's not really going to block anything behind it. But I didn't do anything directly behind it besides filler because you wouldn't be able to see it back there anyway. But I think that looks really cute. So many fun items for this tier tray. And again, so easy. For filler, I'm going to use some faux fall leaves. I actually got these at Walmart, walmart.com. I liked the neutral colors of these, but you could always use fall leaves from the Dollar Tree. They had this light green color, which I really appreciated. And so I am going to just cut off some of these to use as filler, mainly for the bottom tier, to go around all those beautiful ceramic fall items. I did do a couple of them in brown as well. And I was surprised to see they also had these like kind of bright green leaves on there, but I like them. I like the contrast. I think those will work well too. So I'm going to go ahead and use 3 of those as well. They're a little bent up, kind of like Dollar Tree fall leaves, but if you use a little heat from a heat gun or a blow dryer on those, you can make them look so much better. I'm going to do that on these little ones as well, just to open them up a little bit better so you can see them. But this is going to be great filler for that bottom tier. I'm just going to start scattering the fall leaves all over. They'll look like fallen leaves. Just a perfect filler, and I really do appreciate the neutral colors. They really let all of my pieces shine, and they fill up all of the gaps between all of the items. So many like little fun items down here. Mushrooms, pumpkins, gourds. We have a fox, an owl, and a little welcome pumpkin there on the front. I love it. I thought about doing like a little mini pennant banner for this tier tray, but I didn't really think it needed it. I think it's really cute on its own. So I'm just, again, filling it up with filler, making sure you can see all these cute little items. Another fun thing that I wanted to use for fall filler are acorns. These are the acorns from Dollar General. They're only $1. They're super cute. You could also use the faux acorns from the Dollar Tree. They have them in lots of different colors. I'm just going to scatter some of these around as well for filler and perfect for the fall theme. just anywhere that kind of needed something, I just tossed an acorn. Really easy. I don't really need a lot of filler for the top tier, but I have a little bit of room, so I'm just going to add a pine cone right here behind that gourd to finish off the top tier. And let me give you a little tour of my woodland animal fall tier tray. I told you this was going to be really easy. Everything was pretty much ready to go. I just added a glossy coat to a couple items to really go with that glazed ceramic look of those beautiful items that I found from the Dollar Tree. But I kept that same color scheme that I went with my coffee bar, and I'm going to display this in my kitchen. So I think that the two will go together nicely. Lots of that light green color and orange, but lots of fall items as well. We have hay bales and gourds and foxes, little pine cones, so many fun items. I really love the feathers and the vase as well. Really kind of a statement piece there on top. And I'm not afraid of doing like larger items like that on the top of a tier tray. I think you can really make your tier tray really pop by making it nice and tall like that. But this is how it turned out. This is my first fall tier tray. If you want more fall tier trays, I have so many of them on my channel. I've lost count. But I have tons of different themes to choose from if woodland fall is not really your vibe, but I think it turned out really cute. This is how the bottom shelf turned out with all of those cute little items from the Dollar Tree. And I think this is going to look really cute on my kitchen counter for fall. Let me give you a little top to bottom view of my tier tray, and I would really appreciate it if you would use some of your hypes this week for this video. It's going to help my video do better here on YouTube. I know how to do it on the phone. It might only be possible on the phone. You'll have to let me know. But please let me know which fall DIY or find was your favorite down in the comments below. And this is my QR code if you would like to buy me a copy. Enjoy the final reveal.
Open up the window. I'm breathing in the last of September. I can feel the wind blow, and the late summer sky is like a giant ember. Everything is turning into gold when the autumn leaves are playing chase. It puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low, dancing through the last days of September. Since I was a little child, every year for as long as I remember, all the leaves were running wild, going all the way until November. Turn the world around us into gold when the autumn leaves are playing chase. It puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low, dancing through the last days of September. I wonder September. Summer is ended, the leaves are turning brown. Red and yellow, soon they'll be falling down. Now, I'm not ready, not just yet. I'm not ready for autumn. Autumn comes too soon. Autumn comes too soon. The light that flickers will blow away the sight, and all that blossomed will wither away and die. Not now, I'm not ready, not just yet. I'm not ready for autumn. Autumn comes too soon. I'm not ready for autumn.
Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's video. That always helps my videos do better. And I want to give a huge thank you to all of my YouTube members for supporting my channel. Thank you to Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, I Am Mojo Jojo, Marin Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Donna Tanner, Kim Rogers, Maria Cruz Pagan, Powell Puppy Life, Renee Albanese, Mindy Hupp, and Chinny. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach Bum member, just hit the join button on your computer or phone next to today's video. You're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube, a badge next to your name when you comment down below, and a shout out in every video. We would also love to see what you've been crafting. Be sure to share your DIYs with us in our private Facebook group, linked in the description of today's video, as well as all of those free fall printables for you to enjoy. If you would like even more fall crafting inspiration, be sure to check out one of these fall Dollar Tree DIY videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting for fall.